Kaz Rodriguez.
How you doing, my man?
Good, you?
Yeah, feeling great, feeling great.
Welcome to beat.tv, the drummers website.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And we are catching up with you at Drumfest 2016, Opole, Poland.
Yeah.
And tomorrow you're going to be doing a clinic.
Yeah.
What's your approach to clinics, and what's the message you'd like to convey, or the most important thing you'd like to convey to the people who come?
Well, I personally think, like, for me, it's always been inspiration. I think since I ever started drumming, I used to watch my idols play. Mm-hmm. So the thing that I wanted to do when I grew up was just kind of give the same back to maybe nowadays community, and try to find a different way of trying to show something. And my way was kind of playing through things that I write, like music. My backing tracks that have been very fortunately been successful for sharing amongst the world. So basically playing my music tracks, and also just being able to show my approach of technique and how I hear music to myself, basically, and share it amongst just new ears, basically, fresh ears, So
that's what you're going to discuss tomorrow as well. Okay, right. You mentioned recording.
Yeah.
Home recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, it's recording. Doesn't matter if it's studio, like a pro studio that costs thousands and thousands of euros per hour.
Yeah.
The approach is probably the same. Do you prefer whole takes, or do you record in segments?
It really depends. I like to do whole takes because I just feel like there's something special about that, and I don't believe in perfectionism. I don't think things should be perfect. I believe that mistakes are also hidden beauties within recording, and sometimes, or I like to ideally do something through one whole take, but sometimes maybe one or two, and then I just split them, and just to try to find the most authentic take, something that's real, not so processed, because I feel like sometimes you lose the magic in that. So so I'd probably say sometimes I do it at minimal. So yeah.
We've had quite a number of drummers who we've interviewed here who say that the Pro Tools, copy paste, the modern technology takes away a lot from the feel of the music. Do you agree?
I do agree, absolutely. Again, it's just something that I feel like as the drummers that we are, and especially in modern music in today's society, we tend to rely too much on the technological aspect of recording, and I like to try to keep ourselves as working drummers be the internal heartbeat, and be fluent as possible, and actually to create something special in recording. So I'm sure amongst the other fellow drummers that have been asked the same question, I'm sure they would agree upon that as well. So yeah.
when doing a clinic, before actually
Yeah.
doing it, how do you prepare? And I'm talking both of, you know, what you are going to play or whatever, but also just, you know, warm up before the event.
So, I mean, you know, doing like, for example, this is my first world start of my world tour, basically. So, starting in the wonderful Pole. What I try to do is just to try to loosen up, because you know, playing drum clinics sometimes for a lot of artists, and especially people that have names, and you know, no matter how well you're doing in it, we all tend to feel nerves. You know, nerves are normal. It's normal. Where we are human.
Of course.
So I tend to just, you know, like I was really lucky that I got a sound check. That's very rare. We get sound checks. So, you know, and I had a lot of time. I was stressing. I was like, oh, how much time do we have left? He goes, oh, you've got plenty of time. I was like, oh, brilliant. So it's something that I like to do, just to loosen up, get the feel of the tracks, get to know the surroundings and the acoustics, and also just to know, like for tomorrow, you know, you don't know who you're going to have as an audience. It could be a bunch of drummers, it could be a bunch of musicians, it could be no musicians, you know, but you just have to, I just feel like I'm just kind of I like to get along with everyone sort of thing. So I like to get to know more about the audience, as opposed to, so then they can get to know me a bit more. So I tend to just play like maybe one of my songs, so they have an idea of what I do, usually to start out, and then after ask, you know, answer any questions, but also describe, you know, just give a little background of who I am, because I've had for many years a massive confusion that they found two Kazes. So they think I'm either the pop drummer Kaz or the Kaz who writes drum tracks for, you know, so-called like Chris Coleman, Aaron Spears, Gerald Hayward. So I want these guys to just actually get to know me in a personal level. And I think that's what it is. It's just my clinics are more about building a relationship, and actually for them to understand my just my characteristics, so they don't feel that they're a bit lost in who this person is, and just to get to know me, you know, and be friends, you know. So that, and also just approach my way of playing techniques, basically. So I have a certain approach of playing time and chops, as everyone says, you know, the chops, as everyone likes to mention. But I like to explain, I like to share. I'm all about sharing, because without sharing we cannot expand for the further community to grow. So I'm all about sharing knowledge, basically. Right. And inspiring.
What's the question that you get asked most often at clinics? Talking about sharing?
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. First, I get a lot of the time, why do I wear Timberlands? Why do I wear boots playing drums? And I'm like, I don't know.
That's a legitimate question, actually.
That is a legitimate question. You know what? It was just by accident. I just happened to have bought, like, you know, a pair of boots, and I just was really lazy. I just could not be asked to wear trainers. You know, a lot of people will take
sneakers or whatever.
Yeah, you know, a lot of drummers take their footwear really seriously when they drum. So whether it's Converse or Adidas Gazelles, and I'm just a boot man, I guess. So you know, my pedals are quite light, but I just kind of like that feel. It's just something that's internally fitting for me. So, but you know, I'm saying this, but tomorrow I probably will be playing with trainers, but boots are predominant. So that's the most prominent question that I always get asked.
Good one, actually. Okay.